Hi, I'm Brian Howlett with Pro Video Coalition. I'm talking to Patrick with Arri. We're talking about the Stellar 2 app, which can control your sky panel or any other area lights and some third-party lights wirelessly or through the app. It's a little more than what I usually use, so I'm going to let Patrick take over. Patrick.
Yeah, it's nice to hear that you like the Sky Panel. What we've done is actually released a little over a year ago. We came up with an app called Stellar, and what it is, it gives you an opportunity to access all the full functionality of the Sky panels, and we'll also work with our L series Fresnels. If you have an iPad, you can connect to a Sky panel wirelessly, either through our Skylink, which is another wireless DMX. It's Lumen Radio. It's a piece of equipment, or you could even go, direct into it with a small wireless access point. So what the Stellar does is it will find out what's connected to the system. It will take a poll, and each of the sky panels can act as what's called an ArtNet node. Okay, so the Stellar app speaks ArtNet. Okay, it speaks that to the fixture, and then the fixture will receive the signal, and it can be controlled then directly from the Stellar app using all the functionality of the fixture through a great user interface on the app itself. And you can actually daisy chain DMX out of the Sky panel into the different L series Fresnels that we have as well. So you can build a whole rig, daisy chain together and control it through the Stellar. And the one thing that's really nice about it is once you get the system hooked up, you don't have to worry about DMX addressing or setting modes or anything like that. The Stellar app will actually take a poll of the system and find out what's connected to it. Each fixture, the Sky panels and the L series have a unique identifiers like a MAC address that the Stellar app will recognize, and it will find out everything. It'll take a poll of everything that's connected to it. At that point, it will ask you, do you want to build this system? And you would say yes. And then it will also offer you the opportunity to do all the DMX patching and mode assignments for you. So it's really a no-brainer. You can just let the Stellar do the work for you. Once it populates the system, you'll see all the fixtures appear on the screen, and it's as simple as touching a fixture, selecting what mode you want for operation, and adjusting it. And the graphical user interface is really easy to control. And a really nice thing is once you set up a look, you can save that. You can save that to reuse. Say you're in one set and you want a nighttime look and you want a daytime look, you can go between them. If you have colors that you like, you can save those as favorites. You have full access to the whole line of control for the Sky panels.
Now, this would be especially useful in a studio stage setting where in the past, if a DP wanted to change from, as you say, from day to night, someone would have to get up on the scissor lift and change all the gels if they were just tungsten or HMIs. Is that correct?
Correct.
And
Yes,
that's
just using the using the LED fixtures, it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to get up on ladders to go and change the gels, and you don't have to go and change the modes with Stellar. Because a lot of times, if you're working through a regular console, you have to pick a mode that you're going to use. I'm going to use red, green, blue, white mode, or I'm going to use X, Y, or HSI. And once you choose that, when you're setting up a regular DMX system, you have to stick with it. With Stellar, you don't have to. You can just change on the fly and operate it any way you want to.
so if another problem with like a huge light board you might find in a studio is the time you actually have on the light board to learn it. But
Right.
if you have like you have a sky panel behind you right now, and if you have the app, you could, as someone who's new to it, learn the app on your own, couldn't you?
Oh yeah, it's really easy to pick up. We've done some demos at a college down in Mexico City, and these people were theater people, not necessarily technicians. A lot of them were studying acting, and we did a quick demo of Stellar with them. And within 5 minutes, we had a couple fixtures hooked up to it. Within 5 minutes, they had it all down. They were setting up looks. They were taking selfies with the light. It was really easy, and it really meant a lot for us to see just how easy it was for somebody to pick up.
Now, if you occasionally I might have a commercial shoot or something like that, I might have to do multiple locations and do a pre-light. Could you save, like you talk about in the light board, you can save your profile or whatever, but can you save, how many can you save? Can you save just one? Can you save an infinite number of looks or changes you have to the lights?
Yeah, it depends on a lot depends on what you're using it for. You can use what we're calling a set, and the set would be the set you walk into, your rig, as it were. And within that set, you can set up however many different looks, what we're going to say cues for purposes of this discussion, as you like. And then you just punch a button from cue to cue to cue. I've got my day look, I've got my night look, I've got this lightning effect happening over here. You can save all of those on the iPad. And what's nice is it'll back up to the cloud. So you'll have a copy of it. And now we also have an option to share the iPad with somebody else, or I should say the Stellar project with somebody else. So you could have your gaffer over on one side of the studio and you can have your best boy somewhere else working on something, and you're sharing the same project. So that's something else that we've got going
And,
on.
and that kind of, again, is part of that process of speeding up the process of production and no longer waiting on the technicians of a film. And so the director and the actors can be more in the moment. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, there are different, limitations, and some people might say it's like, okay, well, this is one person's responsibility or another person's responsibility. But what this really does, it gives the artist a lot of control. You could have a DP who's trying to describe a color that he wants, and he's saying a little more of this, a little more of that. But if he has the iPad in his hand, he can just make a little fine tuning. It's like, there it is. And he can save it as a favorite if he likes that color to use any other time he wants on any other fixture he wants. And he can also just save that the look that he's going for as well. And it's really nice as well if you're doing like really quick setups, and if you were on a budget as well. The Stellar is a subscription service, so you get it for $9.99 a month or $99 a year. So if you're setting up something quick, it's a heck of a lot cheaper than renting a console. If you're going to just be shooting a quick commercial and you've got a quick setup, you can just rent it for $10, and which is a lot cheaper than renting a console.
Oh yeah, that's a lot cheaper. And in these times, production is all but halted, so everyone's taking the time to hopefully learn these new products. Where can someone like myself who doesn't use this a lot, where can I find the Stellar app?
It is available from the App Store and through Google Play, so it'll work on your Android device or your iPad or iPhone. The tablets, if you're using like an Amazon tablet, something that's running Android, you have a little bit larger GUI than you would on your phone, but it is available for both Android and iOS.
And so like how I'm just trying to wrap my head about how you connect to the lights. Is it just through Wi-Fi? Is it through Bluetooth?
You can do it several ways. You can either go hardwire from your iPad to one sky panel, and then you can daisy chain 5-pin DMX around your rig. That's one way of doing it. We also have wireless options where you could just use a little wireless access point that you can plug in to the sky panel itself, because the sky panels have an Ethernet port on the back of them as well as a USB port. So you would get power for your little nano router or whatever it is, your wireless, that you would actually get power from the USB on the fixture, and you'd plug the Ethernet cable into the fixture itself. And then that becomes your ArtNet node. Okay, so that's going to be the main point of communication between Stellar and your rig. And out of that, the sky panel will spit out a universe of DMX, 512 channels. So however many fixtures you have up to that 512 channels, you're good to go just by connecting to that one sky panel. If you've got a larger rig, you can go through an Ethernet switch and send one Ethernet cable to one sky panel, another Ethernet cable to another sky panel, and now each of those two sky panels will act as nodes and spit out their own universe of DMX. So you can build your rig accordingly. And the beauty of it is Stellar will handle all of that networking stuff for you.
So this is not just about like changing light colors. This is also about like effects. So if you're doing music video and you have like essentially a tunnel of sky panels and you need to animate, would Stellar 2 be able to help you do that?
For some things, it's not really meant to replace a console in all aspects. There are certain things that you're going to want to cue. Currently, Stellar does not do timed cues, but what it does, it will access the effect package that's built into the sky panels, and within those effect packages, you're able to adjust certain things. But if I wanted to actually build an effect that says I want this light to come up in 3 seconds and fade out, and this was going to come over here, and this is going to happen, that's something you'd still need a console for. But you can use the built built-in effects on the sky panels as well. It actually brings gel modes, so you can actually look up gels with Stellar on the L series Fresnels as well.
Could you, and just excuse my naivety on this, but could you do like the flash effect of like a light bulb or anything else?
Yes, that's one of the actually happens to be one of the effects. The paparazzi effect is actually built into the sky panel as well. There are just like 17 or 18 effects that are actually built into the sky panel that you can call up and you can manipulate.
Okay, this sounds like a very user-friendly, easy way to really kind of dive into the complexities of lighting with multiple panels and sitting down to give yourself a nice look, which is not maybe not sitting down because you don't get a chance to really sit down as a DP, but changing the light from the camera.
Well, and another thing that's really nice about this too is with, since it is a subscription service, when you go on, I think you get like, I think it's 1 or 2 weeks free. So now, since we're all kind of working out of our house, would be a great time just to download it and play around with it a little bit. There is a demo file that comes along with Stellar when you download it, so you give you a little bit of more of a tactile sense of what's going on. You can select fixtures and adjust them. All of the different modes. Another nice thing about it is, as far as accessing the fixtures themselves, you can import a light plot, or you could actually take a picture of your set, and you can actually then drag the icons for the fixtures right over where they are on your set. So you can say, okay, I want that light there, and you look at your light plot on your Stellar app, and you actually touch that fixture, and it calls it up for control.
Oh, that sounds like an amazing, and that sounds like an amazing app. And Arri always seems to make life a little bit easier for filmmakers and production people. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time.
Oh, it's a
Talking with
pleasure. And
us.
again, just a reminder, you can go out there and download it. You get a couple of weeks free. It gives you a chance to play around with it. And I think if you give it a chance, you'll find it quite enjoyable.
Okay, thank you so
All right.
much.